Roy Demeo was a notorious figure in the world of organized crime during the 1970s and early 1980s. A member of the Gambino crime family, Demeo was known for his violent tendencies, his involvement in a wide range of illegal activities, and his infamous crew, which became one of the deadliest in mafia history. Early life and rise in the Gambino family. Roy Demeo was born on September 7, 1940, in Brooklyn, New York. Raised in an Italian-American family, Demeo became involved in petty crimes at a young age. In the 1960s, he began working with the Gambino crime family, initially through loan sharking and car theft. His ability to generate significant profits and his willingness to resort to violence when necessary caught the attention of his superiors, including Nino Gaggi, a powerful Gambino capo. By the early 1970s, Demeo had formed his own crew, consisting of individuals who were equally ruthless and willing to kill. This crew, known as the Demeo crew, was responsible for a staggering number of murders, primarily to eliminate rivals, enforce the mob's code of silence, or protect their criminal enterprises. The Demeo crew and the Gemini method. The Demeo crew gained infamy for its efficiency in carrying out murders. Demeo developed a signature method of execution, which became known as the Gemini method, named after the Gemini Lounge, a bar owned by one of Demeo's associates, where many of the killings occurred. The method involved shooting the victim in the head with a silenced gun, immediately stabbing the heart to prevent excessive bleeding, and then dismembering the body in the lounge's back room. The dismembered body parts would be placed in garbage bags and disposed of in various parts of New York. The crew's attention to detail ensured that many of their victims were never found, leaving their disappearances shrouded in mystery. It's estimated that the Demeo crew was responsible for between 75 to over 200 murders during their reign, though exact numbers remain uncertain. Criminal activities. In addition to murder, Roy Demeo and his crew were involved in a wide array of illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, auto theft, and loan sharking. One of Demeo's most profitable ventures was running a large-scale car theft ring, where stolen vehicles were sold overseas after having their identification numbers altered. This operation reportedly generated millions of dollars for the crew and the Gambino family. Despite his growing power, Demeo became increasingly unstable and paranoid. His violent tendencies and the growing body count drew unwanted attention from law enforcement. His erratic behavior also began to concern other members of the Gambino family, particularly its leadership. Discovery and downfall. By the late 1970s, law enforcement had begun to focus on Demeo's criminal empire. The FBI and NYPD had wiretaps and informants working to gather evidence against him. However, it was the growing pressure within the Gambino family itself that ultimately led to Demeo's downfall. In 1982, Demeo's boss, Paul Castellano, the head of the Gambino family, became increasingly worried about Demeo's growing notoriety. Castellano was particularly concerned that Demeo's high-profile murders and reckless behavior would bring too much heat on the family. Fearing that Demeo might become an informant if he was ever arrested, Castellano ordered his murder. On January 10, 1983, Roy Demeo's body was discovered in the trunk of his Cadillac outside the Varina Boat Club in Brooklyn. He had been shot multiple times in the head and body. It's widely believed that members of his own crew, acting on Castellano's orders, carried out the hit. Investigations and convictions. After Demeo's death, law enforcement continued to investigate the Demeo crew and the Gambino crime family. Several members of the crew, including Joseph Testa and Anthony Center, were eventually arrested and convicted on various charges, including murder and racketeering. They received lengthy prison sentences, with some being sentenced to life without parole. The sheer brutality of the Demeo crew's activities shocked even seasoned law enforcement officers, and their story became a symbol of the extreme violence that marked the era of organized crime in New York. The FBI's investigation into Demeo and his crew played a crucial role in the eventual decline of the Gambino family's power in the 1980s. Though Roy Demeo never faced trial for his crimes, his reign of terror left a lasting mark on the history of organized crime. His story has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even fictionalized accounts in movies, cementing his legacy as one of the most feared and violent mobsters in American history. Thanks for tuning into Sika True Crime Docs. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life. See you in the next episode.